Hello my friends, so today I'm going to show you not one, not two, but three different ways you can build your calendar table in Power BI. Now, if you've been using Power BI for a while, you probably know that calendar table is critically important to any Power BI model that you're working with. So we're going to explore the three different ways, and interestingly, what you're going to find is the method that looks the hardest is actually the best one to use. Let's get started. If you are a Power BI beginner or still feel like a beginner, then this channel is for you. So make sure to subscribe and yes, click that bell so you're notified whenever I answer your Power BI questions. Let's start with the first method, which is the simplest, but is it the best method? Well, that we'll find out later. But the first method is calendar auto date time. In fact, it is automatically built into Power BI and it's active by default. So all you have to do is to grab a date field and drag that over, and you're automatically going to get essentially a calendar table. So watch this. I'm going to grab this field and drop it here, and automatically you see here it shows us year, quarter, month, day, and you kind of get that hierarchy built in. Let's look at it, and if we can expand, quarter one, January, February, March, everything is as it should be. Now again, if we look at the underlying table, the sales table, we don't have that, so it's not in the data. We just had simply a date field. Now I'm going to show you where this option lives. So this lives in File, Options and Settings, Options, and for the current data file data load, there we go. So current file data load, you can see the option is right there, and I do believe it's checked by default. If you're not seeing this behavior, go check this option. Make sure this box is checked. However, once you watch our other methods, you might want to leave it unchecked. So we'll see about that. The second method we're going to see to build a calendar table is using DAX. So for that, we're going to go to the modeling tab, and here we're going to say new table. So again, modeling tab, new table, and I'm click that. And in the definition here, I'm going to type in, I'm going to change the name. You probably want to call it calendar, but since I'm going to be creating multiple calendar tables, I'm just going to call it calendar DAX so I know which one it is. And here you have two really simple functions. You have calendar and calendar auto. I'm just going to first do the calendar auto, and then I'm going to come back and show the calendar option to you. Now it has one parameter, fiscal year and month, but if you have a year ending starting from January, ending in December, then you can just specify like this, hit enter, and that's it. And what it does is it creates that table. We can go over to a data view and look at that table. So again, this is the DAX table that's being created. And right now, it just has this date field. Now, of course, what's interesting about the calendar auto is that it actually scans the other tables in your data model and then figures out what is the date range and creates a table accordingly. Right? So here you can see it starts with 1998. There must be some field in our data which has dates that old. And of course, if we go all the way to the end, it extends all the way to 2022. So let me show you the other DAX function that I talked about, which is the calendar field. Now, if you notice here, we are using our sales data, and at least our sales data starts in 2019 January. So maybe we can go back to our calendar table here, and instead of calendar auto, we can use the calendar function. And calendar function, just uses start date and end date, so maybe we can have more control. So start date, I can say January 1, 2019, since that's where my sales data starts, and then 12/31, 2022. Now, of course, you can see the calendar auto would automatically adjust to that, but this one gives you a little more control. Before you think too much though, wait till you see the third option, and then we'll talk about what's this. Then, well, you will know what is the smartest and best way to handle all of this automatically. So now we have this calendar table, but it's really not doing much. It just has a date column. I mean, we can sure use that. So I can go there, connect this new calendar table to my order date. There we go. And here I can, let me set this up. All right, so I'm ready to bring in this date column here from my calendar DAX. So I'm going to drag it over here. Now watch what it does. It actually is still doing the auto date time, but that's not what I want. I want to create my own table. So I'm going to change this option and say, nope, don't do that here. Don't use the hierarchy auto date time. Just use the simple date. And then I'm going to go and create those columns there. So for that, let's go to our model here. And in here, in table tools, I'm going to say new column, right? So let's say new column. And here I'm going to say year. And calendar DAX date, right? So give me the year. There we go. So we have the year in this column. Let's repeat that to get quarter. So here I can say quarter. Use that function. And by the way, you probably notice the best practice is whenever you're referring to column names that you use the table name prefix. Okay, here, and I want to prefix that with the letters QTR. Let's see how that works. Perfect. So that looks better. So we have the quarter. Let's add one more for month, and we're going to say month. Use the month function. But as you notice, this actually gives the month number. So I'm going to call it month num. We are going to need this column. And create a new column, which will have actually a text month, January, February, March. I'm just going to call it month. And the simplest way is to say format, the date. And I like 3-letter months, so JAN instead of January. And you know, we have that. Now this is our date table. So now we can go back, and I'm going to format this date column to be simpler. I like having the short date format instead of this really long one. But really, that's not the one we're interested in. The power of the calendar table is in all the other fields, the year, year, month, day. So let's put those in here. So year, quarter, month. Perfect. And what happened here? I should have had my auto date time here. Oh, I know what happened. Since I connected it to a calendar table, notice that the auto date time went away, which makes sense. Now we have the calendar table. But of course, if you go back in the video, the auto date time was working. It had the auto hierarchy, the year, date, month. So here we have 2019. But you see there's something amiss here. The months are not really sorted right. And of course, if you remove the quarter, you can see quite easily, that they're actually alphabetical. But that's an easy fix, especially because we have the month number in there. So you just go to the column and say month, column tools, and sort by column. So sorted by the month number. So January becomes 1, February becomes 2, and if you go back, we can see everything is sorted correctly. And if you like, we can bring in the quarter, and now you can see inside that quarter, it displays correctly. So that's the second way to do it in DAX. Let me show you the third one, and then we'll talk about what's the best approach. So the third method to create your calendar table is in the incredible kitchen of Power BI, which I talk about it extensively in my 60-minute Power BI tutorial. If you haven't seen that, make sure to check that out, especially if you're getting started. So Power Query is the kitchen of Power BI, and you can open that by clicking on the Transform Data button. If it were up to me, I will put the kitchen symbol icon or name it the kitchen of Power BI, but Transform Data. So you click that, and here we're going to create our calendar table in Power Query step by step. So for that, let's get started, and we're going to click on New Source and then Blank Query. So New Source, Blank Query, and I'm just going to call it, I'm just going to rename it Calendar Power Query. And we're going to go in here, right click, and insert step after. Now, I'll warn you that these steps will seem a little bit intimidating, but I want to walk you through it, but then I'm going to give you the easy way. I'm going to give you the shortcut. Okay, so I right click, insert step, and here what I want to do is I want to set the start date. So I'm just going to say a start date is, and we're going to say 2019. That's when we're starting our sales data, 1/1, and that's it. Okay, let's see. So we have the start date. I'm just going to rename this step start date. We're going to right click, insert step again to get end date. Now, of course, there are other ways to do it. You can probably do parameters. That's absolutely okay. I like doing it this way. And end date is also, there you go, date, and we're going to say 2022 12/31. That's the end date. And yes, you want to know how to make it dynamic. We will talk about that. Okay, so that's the end date. I'm going to right click and change it again, rename it. Start date, end date, and now we're going to generate a list of dates. So we come here and we say list.dates. List.dates, and you can see it takes a start, it takes a count, and it takes a step, which is just how many days to add. That's just one day. So okay, so we're gonna do the start date, and that one is simple. So that one is start date. We're referring to a previous step which we've already defined, and then we need the duration, and for this we just need end date minus start date. Now, so that's the duration, but we do need it in as a number. You can see here that it says as a number, so we're just going to convert this to a number from. And again, if this is intimidating you, the shortcut is coming soon, so hold your breath. No, don't hold your breath. So number, so that, and the last is the duration, and that is just kind of 1 day. That's the. All right. With all that work, we have a list, and what we can do is, the first thing we're going to do is convert it to a table. So click that, convert to a table. I'm going to hit OK, rename it, date, change it to a date type, and now we're ready to add the year, month, day. Now, earlier you saw me how I was doing it in DAX, and frankly, this is a really simple calendar table. I'm going to show you the end result. I'm going to show you what we call the ultimate calendar table, and it's mind-blowing, right? But even with the simple stuff, man, DAX, there was formulas. So I know this was a little bit kludgy, but again, I'm going to give you the shortcut. There was a lot of manual steps. Trust me, 99% of the time, I'm not doing this. In fact, I had to look it up. The ultimate calendar that I'm talking about, I have it open on the second screen, and I was like, oh my God, what is that, right? So don't let that scare you, because most of the stuff is in the kitchen, and that is in this awesome ribbon at the top, and we're going to use that now. So let's go select this column, and we're going to add those year, month, and year, quarter, month columns. So we want to add columns, so we're going to focus on this in the ribbon, right? So add column, and now what kind of column are we trying to add? It's not a general, from, text, from, number, it's from, date. So that's what we're going to focus on. So in add column under date, you find year right there. Isn't that incredible? And that's what I'm talking about. It's the kitchen of Power BI. All the tools you need to cook your data, that makes it sound wrong, to clean, shape, transform your data, and make it pretty and beautiful. It's right here. So that's the year. And now I'm going to click that column again, and I'm still in add column, and I'm going to say, oh yeah, based on this column, give me the quarter, right? Hey, talk about easy, right? So this quarter, quarter one. Now remember, I like having that QTR prefix in here. So let's just have some fun. Let's click on column from examples. So I'm going to click column from examples. And here I'm just going to type in QTR, QTR1. It reads my mind, hit OK. And sometimes, so I usually have this formula bar turned on. If you're not seeing this, definitely go to view and turn on the formula bar. It's going to help you understand the M code over time. You don't really have to understand it. Again, there are a lot of tools available just by clicking around the ribbon. But that's the next level that you can go to, that once in a while getting in the M code helps. So you can kind of see that. So that's quarter. And this is what I love. There's a trash can in here, so I can remove the stuff that I don't need. And this is the real quarter. So I removed that, intermediate column, which just had the kind of the number on it. I don't need that. So that's gone. And here, last thing I need is month. So let's go to add column again. I'm going to select the date column because that's what I want to add column based on, and month. And look at this, it's got the month, which is the number, it's got the name of the month. Let's get both. So I'm going to say date, month. It's going to give me the month number, and I can just go in here and change that really quick here. I could have also changed it by double clicking the column name over here. Either one is okay. So I have the month num, go back to the date column, add column again, and this time I'm going to get name of the month. That's the month name. I just like calling it month. And what I like having is just a 3-letter month instead of January, February. Just I think 3 letters suffices. So this time we're not we're not adding a column. We're transforming an existing column, right? So we're taking this column and transforming it. Let's go to transform. And now I'm looking under text, right? So this is a text transformation, so I'm focusing there. And here I want to say extract first characters, right? So extract first characters. And I'm just going to say the first 3, hit OK. And that's it. That's my Power Query calendar all done. But again, I'm going to show you an easy way, a shortcut to not just get this, but the ultimate calendar table. But let's see it in action. Hit close and apply. And let me set it up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so again, pretty similar to the DAX table. We're going to put the year. Oh, it's not connected yet. So let's go to the relationship view and connect those tables. And again, this is just an example. So normally you don't want to have, obviously you don't want to use both approaches. You want to pick one. And we're going to be talking soon about which one is the best approach. You're going to see this in a bit. So here, yep, now the numbers look better. Year, quarter, great, and then month. And we, again, need to sort the month. So click on that column, sort by month num, and that should take care of it. Yep, and now they're looking pretty similar. Now, really, in all honesty, let's talk about which approach is the best, because so far they seem to give kind of similar results, right? So this one probably seemed the easiest to use, like auto daytime. I didn't have to do anything, and the DAX seemed kind of easier. Calendar auto. It's like, oh my god, so awesome. Versus in Power Query, we seem to struggle. And right, I mean, all of that initial stuff, how are you supposed to know? How, if I didn't tell you, how would you know? But it turns out that this is actually the best way to create a calendar table. For one, let me make it easy for you, and then I'll talk about other reasons why it's the best. And the easiest approach is to simply go to learnpowerbi.com/calendar to watch my videos about the ultimate calendar table, and then if you want to download it, you can go to learnpowerbi.com/download, right? So, and I'm going to show you how it works, and it's so easy. Okay, so on the left here, you have the ultimate calendar table. This is the download you're going to get, and if you open Power Query, you're going to find kind of ultimate calendar. It's just called calendar, but it is the ultimate calendar table, wink wink. So you have it there, and on the right is kind of your model, right? So whatever you're working on, and all you have to do, this is how easy it is, you just right click on it, click copy, you come to your model, right click and click paste. And bada bing, bada boom, you got the ultimate calendar table. And again, I like calling it just calendar, but here, since we have multiple tables, I'm going to add a suffix to differentiate it. And then you can just hit close and apply to load this into your model. And let me just show you of everything that it has. So here is just a small sample of what the ultimate calendar has. Of course, it has the year, quarter, and month. That's there for you. It's got weekdays, it's got week dates, it's got fiscal year. But then if you pop over to the ultimate calendar table, you can see it's got lots of, so there's a fiscal year, so if your fiscal year starts in July or October or February, there's controls for that. There's this current month offset, which is a mind-blowing feature that you can use. It's got this feature in past state, fiscal year offset, weekdays, already talked about that, week sequence, current week offset, year-to-date flag, month-to-date flag, and again, you don't have to use all of it from day one, but if you go to learnpowerbi.com/calendar, it'll introduce to all the functionality that exists in the ultimate calendar table, and step by step how you can use it. And again, it's as easy as copy and paste. So isn't it odd that I walked you through these 3 different approaches to doing the calendar table, and really the Power Query one is the simplest, especially if you use the ultimate calendar download and just copy that, but it's also the most powerful. I'll see you in the next video. Now make sure to subscribe, and if you have any Power BI questions, just go to learnpowerbi.com/question and send them my way. Take care and power on.